Hi, I'm Tracy Diane. Welcome to my channel. Today's um, I'm going to talk to you about childhood, and I I don't know if you saw my earlier video. I mentioned that I remember being born. That's true. Um, when I came to this world, into this life, I came as an observer. So I have seen ev- I was watching everything that's what people are doing. I'm always observing other people, um, not just other people, but also in my own life and experience. Uh, Most of my videos are going to be based on what I've seen and observed and listen, hear and experience. Um, like I said, I do remember being born, and I remember being very observant. Uh, I may not have the words or vocabulary to express how I feel or thinking or or feelings, but I know and I understand uh, intuition, uh, maybe telepathic um, abilities at the time in those early years. Um, for one thing, I notice if people talk about perfect childhood, and from what I've seen and observed, there is not such thing. Nobody goes out there. Nobody has a perfect childhood. I know most people like to try to create one, but if that's ever going to happen, I don't think it's going to. Because if you hear when you hear what a lot of people talk about childhood, everybody has some bad experience in their childhood. Um, I kind of mentioned it in my early childhood or video is that uh, we have our lesson. We came into this world with our own lessons and experiences, but we also have uh, our families from many generation, and it's all tied up into your um, life, and it's suffocating technically. And um, for a kid, you go through a lot of stuff, and I don't think I'm not sure how well parents help the kid to know and understand what's going on. I think for most parent, I know I know my parents did. Uh, they explain things as they go as as we get older about what's going on at every moment. Because I think they think we're too young, don't understand, don't maybe inappropriate for a kid. Uh, the problem with that is that we may be young, but we do understand. We're they are not stupid. They do, like I said, they do understand more than you realize. Um, and the kids that are born now, they're more advanced than we were when we were kids. So you're going to have to come to the point that these kids are going to be smart and and you, you can't really chill them. You can't protect them. I mean, you can, but it got to the point where you're gonna have to explain what's going on. Uh, I know from my childhood is that I was never taught how to cope when things get bad and when things happen and life happens. I mean, childhood is what it is. It's the foundation of everything you're going to know and learn throughout your life. I've noticed many lessons throughout my life has started into my childhood. And complicated, isn't it? In your childhood, you're supposed to learn how to cope. And and to do that is that you have to let your kids know what's going on. You know, if they're like the death in the family, like because someone died and or someone went to heaven, or you know how to tell people who someone died, but you want to do it in a way where the kids could understand that something bad happened and that at some point they're going to be okay at the end. At the end, and if you don't express anything or tell them or don't help them with them, they just don't know how to handle things. Uh, I know in my family is that say anything negative, uh, negative feelings were not uh, allowed. It was my parents didn't want to hear it. It's not that they don't want to hear it. It's just that I think it's because they love us and they hate to see us hurt and they don't know what to do. So they kind of try to protect you in this ways. I think it's more about them than you, but I think they're protecting themselves from having to explain things when they don't know they don't know how to they don't know how to help you either. So that's the point. Uh, but the thing is, you go through life, you feeling crappy about something, and you don't know how to handle it. You don't. I mean, a kid knows happy, they know sad, they know uh, bad, they know good, they know um, uh, uh, they know scared, but there's some things they don't quite get, like jealousy and maybe fear. They're not scared, but they don't know fear. I mean, there's some parts of that they don't get. Anxiety. I know if you go to a therapist or looking out for a therapist, seems like anxiety is like the number one issue in all their clientele. Anxiety comes up is because you don't know how to handle things, and that's exactly the point. I mean, if you're not expressing how you feel, negative stuff, you're not going to be able to say. You may not know what it is as you get older. I know people said I have anxiety issues, and then up to now, it's like I haven't. I mean, I didn't know what they're talking about. It's like, no, I'm not. I don't feel anxiety. But then explain it comes from worrying and uh, mostly and depression. But I always felt pretty good, or at least I thought so. But that's feels like that's so hard to explain and hard to um, know how to express, and that's the problem. Is that since we're not expressing how we feel, we're learning to not express ourselves at any point, and we just build it up all throughout our life. And I think that's why young people uh, pick up on drugs, alcohol, uh, things like that, because uh, they don't know how to cope. They don't know how to handle situations, so they grab something else um, as a way to cope. Um, and also, I noticed that in my family, even when if you're being punished for something, the kid's not allowed to be angry when mom and dad is angry at you. I mean, you can't say anything back. Sometimes that's not always good either. I mean, yes, you're the parent, and you're the one that has to have to say so, and you're the one that has the discipline. But your kid. Put it this way: your kid did not intend to get in trouble. They're just being kids. They're exploring their world, their life, and everything. And sometimes things doesn't always work out well or right. And so they get into trouble. And there's nobody ever goes out in the world uh, making trouble for. Uh, um, because that's what they want to do. If they do, that's a whole different level of whatever's going on there. But most people have good intentions when bad things happen, and it's frustrating. I mean, you do something and you expect something. Well, you don't know what to expect for most part, but your intention was always good, or and you want something out of it that's positive. And sometimes it doesn't always work out, and it's you gotta understand that it's kind of a disappointment for a kid if they don't have it their way. Um, Not that they're mad at you for being mad at them. It's that they're mad because whatever they want is not going to happen. So they're upset, and they're probably understandable. Um, and should be able to express how they feel about that. It's not that they're trying to go back at you. They're just trying to um, be mad at themselves. And that happens. I mean, we all get angry at ourselves when things don't go our way, and we need to learn how to express those things in a way that's safe and that's uh, that's not gonna hurt you. Um, it's hard to be a kid. You you're not adult. You're very dependent on other people. Um, your parents shield you, and they're they have good intentions, but I think sometimes they forget about what it's like being a kid and not being understanding what's going on. And for one thing, parents need to do more of is listening to their kids and to understand what the kid is going through.